Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Fresh Squeeze podcast. I'm your host, Justin, here with Jeremy. We're back with yet another great topic to discuss. This week, we're going to be talking all about the beauty and perfection and importance of film scores and soundtracks.
Absolutely beautiful piece of music.
It's that's probably one of the best parts of filmmaking besides the actual visual aspect. That's the peak auditory aspect.
A good soundtrack can make or break a movie.
Correct. Because we'll just start out by talking about really what the importance of a film score and accompanying soundtrack is for the movie. Like, imagine some people don't really take the time to really appreciate what the music does for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine the opening to Star Wars and it doesn't have that booming fanfare.
Yeah, imagine it's just like silent.
It'd
be so boring.
Scrolling words.
Yeah.
Imagine
or if it was just like space noises. You know?
Yeah. Like, imagine going into the gates of Jurassic Park and you don't hear that like iconic music.
Yeah.
Imagine
Indiana Jones is on the getaway with the artifact, and you don't have the iconic Indiana Jones theme playing.
Correct.
Like,
imagine every Avengers Assemble moment without that like triumphant music. Yeah. So you really don't realize, you take that away, half the movie's gone.
Half the movie sucks.
So for me personally, like, film scores, I deeply appreciate them, and very often they just move me, man.
Yeah. Well, not only can they move you, but like it also moves the story, and like soundtracks can really help. Like you might, I mean, if you're
to
not,
convey emotion.
Yeah, and if you're not as into it, you might not realize it, but like soundtracks can also really help build the world of your movie. Or like really set the vibe of this. What tone this movie has.
Yeah,
obviously,
it can set a tone at the beginning. It can build tension in a scene.
Mm-hmm.
It can have, like I said, it could be triumphant. It can be sad and emotional.
Yeah.
It can be happy. Like, I don't know about you, but I'll shed a tear at a movie soundtrack over any typical breakup song. I mean, I'm just saying, man. It's deep stuff. So, and with appreciating a soundtrack also comes with appreciating its composers.
Uh-huh.
So we'll look at those in a second. Also, we didn't really give a preview for what we're doing. But along with just our general movie soundtracks, we'll be talking about composers. And then we're going to be talking continually all about the best singular themes, musical scores, soundtracks, special. We could even it goes into like mixtapes, and and we're gonna give our personal soundtrack picks, and then also we're gonna give some share the viewer choice submissions as well.
Right.
So starting off, everybody watches a movie. Most people the actor. You might know like the famous director attached to it.
Like everybody knows, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
Right. And so in turn, everybody knows a movie when they see Harrison Ford or Tom Cruise. So, but when you see one of those two actors' movies, they have iconic music in there, and that music is made by a composer. And it's interesting. I didn't really realize this until recent years. Like, there's obviously some really classic, iconic soundtracks out there.
Yeah.
I almost feel like nowadays it's almost even more appreciated to make a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And that some of my favorite ones are actually like really recent ones.
Yeah. Well, plus I feel like soundtracks are big nowadays because obviously, you make a great soundtrack, it's going to do great things for your movie, but also the replayability of a soundtrack,
Especially in this digital online age.
Like obviously back in the day, I mean, I'm sure people did, but like, people, after they went and saw Star Wars, they didn't go home and immediately start streaming, the Imperial March,
Well,
or you know,
yeah.
like any other Star Wars soundtrack. Whereas now you go see a movie, and you know, some people, you know, they're gonna go home and they're gonna listen to this movie soundtrack again. You know?
Oh, you know what? They had to go out and buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they didn't play that kind of stuff on the radio. So, yeah, I feel like people do have a greater appreciation for film music now. But so composer appreciation. Let's go through some names and just really just bask in the how great these people are at their craft.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some of the most top tier ones are we have coming up first, John Williams.
The GOAT.
If you don't know him by name, he's probably the biggest film composer of the last 50 years. He did dozens of things from everyone's childhood. Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, E.T., Jurassic Park. Those are just a few to name.
Mm-hmm.
Man is unmatched in what he can do today. And he's like, I don't even know, he's like 80, 90 now.
Yeah, he's
still doing it.
Yeah.
He's done 9 Star Wars movies. He's going to be coming up on 5 indie movies. Man's unstoppable.
Yeah.
And we applaud him for it.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, I was going to mention, I do think it's, when I talked about appreciating soundtracks, like, obviously, like, in the biggest movie productions today, they get, like, the really very well-crafted composers.
Yeah.
But, you know, they only did that for, like, select movies back in, like, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, like, a lot of, like, not composers, but, like, musicians did film soundtracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I didn't, like, realize that for the longest time.
Uh-huh.
Because I might be wrong about this. I think, like, the original Dune movie, like, I think Queen scored it.
Did it really?
Or it was, like, or a similar band.
It's
like
funny
them.
they did that.
Like, maybe not. They were still pretty big productions, but yeah, they just hired bands to compose the music, because I wouldn't be surprised if, like, theater composers maybe thought that was kind of like a step down from their standards, you know?
They're like, well, why wouldn't we use famous musicians to promote our movie? You know?
Yeah, you know, back then, you have it composed by a band.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, cool, but you have some theater composer, they're like,
who the heck is that? Especially if that band is, like, in the peak of their popularity.
Yeah.
You know?
So don't fact check me on that, but I know there's something like that. So obviously Johnny Williams always and forever will be the greatest one of the last many decades. Not only to be definitely the best one of this century, of the last 20 years, is Mr. Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah,
he's given us
the modern day GOAT.
He's the modern day GOAT. Works on a lot of Christopher Nolan projects, Dark Knight trilogy.
Yep.
Inception,
Yep.
Interstellar, has worked on a few other DC projects, and what else has he done? Oh, and he's also worked with Villeneuve on his recent projects.
Yeah.
So, really a modern day pupil to John Williams in a way.
Yeah.
And I'd say, and then coming up on probably what at least we would consider probably the third best composer of our time.
Yeah.
Is Michael Giacchino.
Oh yeah, he does not miss.
Yeah,
with a single
especially
soundtrack.
like the past 5 years and the past month.
Yeah.
First he was known, you know, for actually working on like a lot of Pixar stuff.
Yeah.
Like Incredibles. He did Up.
Up has some iconic songs.
Yeah, like, you know, you want to talk about emotion? Let's talk about Up. So the more and more I think about it, the harder it's going to be to break down my favorite ones.
I know. He goes from making peak Disney soundtracks to making probably the best Batman soundtrack ever.
Correct. You know, putting this together, I was like, how many weeks are in a row
Are we going to talk about
Batman? Going to talk about Batman?
I mean, it's probably going to be the whole year. You got to get used to it at this point.
Is probably what, at least the 4th week in a row?
Yeah, well, because we talked about it the week
before
prior,
it came out.
the week it came out, the next week, and then now this week.
So it's been 4 weeks.
This is the 4th week we've mentioned Batman in the podcast.
I'm not ready to stop
Neither
either.
am I.
And not to mention, he's worked on love his score for Rogue One.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he does the new Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Dude's also completely unmatched.
Mhm.
So those are probably the top 3 right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And just to mention some other fine composers, Danny Elfman, he's known for doing a lot of the classics.
Oh, okay.
Like comic book movies.
Mhm.
Let's see, Batman, Michael Keaton's.
Right.
Which he has. That's like the original Batman.
Yeah.
Theme. Which basically the one that they put in Lego Batman and stuff.
Yeah.
It's still an iconic theme. He also did, I think, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Okay.
So that classic type stuff.
Yeah.
Alan Silvestri, he's most known for doing the Avengers theme.
Okay.
Ludwig Granson,
Mhm.
he's now a very popular composer, most notably known for doing the Mandalorian
Oh,
theme.
right. Okay. I was trying to remember where I'd heard his name from.
And he also worked recently on Tenet. He did Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
So he's really rising in the ranks there.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, yeah, he deserves to be up there with the modern
day goats.
I mean. And then the name that might not be known is we have listed as Junkie XL.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that one.
He's done a lot of stuff the past few years, though.
Uh-huh.
He worked with Hans Zimmer on Batman v Superman.
Okay.
And then, in turn, he did Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Gotcha.
Which, for the Snyder Cut, phenomenal soundtrack.
Yeah, Snyder Cut was,
Not to mention that the movie was cool. Like,
yeah.
One of my favorite DC soundtracks now.
The Flash scene? Ooh.
Yeah, I was listening to some of these yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I listened to the Speed Force theme. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's worked on a lot of recent blockbusters. So
Yeah.
really great stuff that he puts together too.
Yeah.
So composer appreciation.
Now, there was one that I wanted to bring out.
Sure. Yeah.
So one that I wanted to definitely give some credit to, his name is, now forgive me if I mispronounce his name. His name is Joe Hiyazashi, and he's a Japanese composer who's done over 100 different film scores, but he's most notably known for his absolutely outstanding work on Studio Ghibli movies.
Sure. Okay.
So, for example, probably his 2 most popular songs are Merry Go Round from the movie Howl's Moving Castle. It is honestly a beautiful song. Like, it's so amazing. And then his also another really popular song called, I think it's just called One Summer's Day. It's from Spirited Away. So, probably 2 of his most notable songs, and all of those just have amazing soundtracks.
Nice.
So he's really, really a great one as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
We like to have a well-rounded appreciation. If we missed any composers, let us know. We like to expand our horizons on that. Going on in the idea of soundtracks, when I was thinking of the ones that are my favorite, I was thinking like of complete soundtracks, but then there's some like individual movie themes that I just love so much and are so iconic.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily amount to like an entire soundtrack.
An entire soundtrack. Yeah.
So when you think of like some of the best movie themes, at least to you personally, what are some that you think of besides like the immensely obvious ones?
So obviously, everybody knows already about like Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But I also think of kind of like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty, unless that's an obvious one. Also,
Back to the Future is a good example of having like a good lyrical soundtrack and a score.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I feel like all the old and the new Star Trek movies, just kind of like the, like the Star Trek
I didn't even
theme,
think of that.
Not but like the Enterprise theme, at the end when they do their whole, where no man has gone before, that whole Enterprise theme is just great.
The original Star Trek theme is great.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
And I forgot, for the new trilogy, Aquino.
Right. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man's all over the place.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, I forgot how much I love the music for the new one, too.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, good examples.
I mean, there's probably more I can think of, but those are just some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like,
Yeah, like,
some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, there's probably more I can think of, but those are just some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, there's probably more I can think of, but those are just some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come to mind. Yeah, like, some of the ones that come
there's so many like movies that just have individual themes that just really resonate with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably just sit here and just like
Oh wait.
pick ones out.
Oh wait, no, I'll save it for the another category.
What category?
I'll save it for the top 5 musical scores category.
Okay. Oh, okay. Is it in like probably your top scores?
Oh, 100% it's in my top scores.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably top 3.
Oh, one thing that I wanted to talk about that might be controversial, but
Uh-huh.
it's pretty obvious to me, is that which category or which side of a series has better film scores? DC movies or Marvel movies? I already know what my answer is.
See, it's tough because obviously there's a lot more. I think there's probably a lot more Marvel just movies in general than there is
Right.
than DC movies. But
How many movies can you think of a movie and then immediately think of a piece of music from
now,
it?
realistically, I'm gonna have to say DC, okay? Because not just because I'm gonna keep bringing it, but obviously one Batman,
Yeah.
new Batman,
Any Batman
any
movie.
Batman, okay? The Wonder Woman theme.
Oh.
You know, that's great. That was a banger. You know, when that comes on, you know people are about to get busted up. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but I know you're gonna bring it up at some point in this episode. The Man of Steel soundtrack.
Don't even get me started.
So you know, I mean, I feel like all of those. I feel like those. I mean, obviously, you know, The Dark Knight. You know, but like those 3 that I just named by themselves are probably enough to make me say DC has better soundtracks than all of Marvel movies. Probably.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, like Spider-Man, just icon.
You know,
those were great
Spider-Man,
and iconic.
Avengers.
You know.
Those are the only. There's only
But-
like probably 2 or 3 Marvel movies where the music like immediately stands out for me.
Yeah.
And that's
And when it's just instrumental music.
yeah, like you know, Avengers theme, Spider-Man theme. I mean, is there really another one?
The only one I can kind of think of is the Black Panther theme, where it's like the trumpets. It's like the
Oh.
dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, it's like the
Oh,
you know,
I guess yeah. Black Panther does have a pretty unique like sound to it.
it's got that like
yeah,
and then it's like that was good, yeah.
yeah.
And it's got those big trumpets, yeah. So
Yeah, you can't really replicate that,
No. but so those are the other ones at Marvel that I can say are probably really stand out.
because like I think just of like the past 10 years, regardless of what you think of the movies, like a movie can be terrible but still have a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Both of the past 15 years, I can definitely tell you that there is a great Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman theme
Yeah.
in recent movies.
Yes.
I would almost say definitive even.
No, I know. Like I would say definitive, 100%. The new Wonder Woman theme that's the Wonder Woman.
It's so
theme.
hype. Like
As I said, when that comes on, you know something's
you know
about to
some
happen.
stuff's about to happen.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about? But
And the new Batman theme just, you know,
and see, and you know what's even better about a theme is obviously if you hear that and think of the character, but like when the theme just absolutely embodies everything about the character, world, and everything about it, it's a good theme.
Mhm.
Because the new Batman theme literally is Batman.
is an embodiment of the
Is
character.
an embodiment of that character and world.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yes. So, I'm not saying no. Marvel movies still have great soundtracks. I feel like some of them just kind of blend into kind of, you know,
They're just typical hero triumphant music.
typical hero music.
Yeah.
But which isn't bad. It still sets the tone. I just feel like DC movies just create a lot more like unique, standout soundtracks
For their individual characters.
for the individual characters. So yeah, that's what I have to say about.
Like if you were
themes.
like, what's Captain America's theme? I'd be like,
Well, I like. There's kind of like that trumpet music that plays when you
yeah, but I'm telling you right now,
Like-
I couldn't tell you what it is right now. I literally could not tell you what it
like.
sounds
There's
like.
like that kind of like army-esque trumpet that plays when he like has a flashback or something, but
Still, I couldn't
you
tell
can't think of
If
it?
I
See?
can't tell you, if I have not seen the movie, in, let's say, a couple months or a couple years, and I can tell you exactly what it sounds like, it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah. So the Captain America probably has a great.
It probably
theme,
does.
but...
I just don't remember it.
And let's be real. Whenever we think of Iron Man, we just think of Back in Black. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much his
theme.
Yeah.
So, unless you can think of any other singular themes that are worth singling out, we can move on.
Now, this isn't one of my favorites, but only because it's probably just one of the most iconic ones of all time, and will always be, is the Jaws theme.
Oh yeah.
Like, you don't even have to see the movie, and you know what the Jaws theme is.
Everybody just knows that's attached to the idea of a shark movie.
Pending danger, whatever it may be.
Pending danger, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a shark attack. If you start doing the something bad is about to happen when you go something's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah.
You just start tweaking at the end. Something's gonna go down. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great example.
So yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes you don't even need to have a full soundtrack. It's just one theme that really sets the tone.
Yeah.
So. Well, but the part that we really want to get to the core of it is the instrumental musical scores. So we'll set a differentiation between what we mean when we say a score and a soundtrack.
Yeah.
A musical score is just the instrumental music that is made to be the background foundation of a movie. It's just that music that you hear in the background, but it's sometimes at the very forefront of what's happening. And whereas a soundtrack could just be instrumental, but it could be lyrical as well.
Yeah.
So
top fives.
This was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I actually just thought about one during this episode.
So,
do you want me to go first?
Probably.
All right.
Even though I'm gonna
throw one out there that I think that you have totally glossed over.
I know I probably forgot
like
one.
Wig out live not in 4K, but live.
Well, I have a couple on my list that I haven't mentioned yet.
Okay.
So.
Mm-hmm. I know, and so do I.
Yeah. I also have a lengthy honorable mention list.
Okay.
So.
No, I just wrote like 5 things down, plus one that is an honorable mention. All right. So you want me to go?
If you want to go first.
All right. Now this is in no particular order.
Okay.
But without a doubt, my top 5. Now I could be like, you could say something and I'd be like, I'm so stupid, I'm missing something. I probably am missing something, but right now I think these are my top 5 favorite movie soundtracks of all time. Okay. So in no order, obviously we've got like the original Star Wars soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's iconic. Okay.
It's just like from the very first movie.
Yeah. It's iconic. We've got Indiana Jones.
Okay.
The Indiana Jones theme. You think of like Last Crusade type stuff. The indie theme.
Yeah, not just the main theme, but like throughout the movie, it has a really very likable soundtrack the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got. I'm gonna throw this out there. Tron.
Okay.
Okay, because
that's
if you're talking about best soundtracks of all time and Tron's not in there, incorrect.
It's a must.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. I really want to say the one I just thought of for. Oh, did I not have 5?
If you have just 4, that's okay.
Okay. Well, I'll throw it in there.
Technically, I only have 4, but
okay.
I have 5.
And then I might think of a 5th one, but for now, the 5th and one, because if this is also not in the conversation, also wrong, is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I didn't even put that one.
Bro, you're telling me that nautical themes are not the best of all time? The Black Pearl theme is literally one of the best of all time.
I almost feel like, granted, the whole movie does have good music. I would almost categorize that just in like the best themes category.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna throw it in there.
But no, like they still have some really great themes, like they're having sword fights or like whatever. So
okay, that's my 4. I guess I didn't have a 5th one.
No, yeah, same again. So
okay, so Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Tron, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And if you want to, you can throw in Ghibli movies.
I'll think about it. Well, I got some other. I've got some other not like ones that aren't just instrumental that I might throw in there.
Yeah, we can
but-
talk about non-instrumental in a little bit. Okay, here's mine.
Okay.
Once again, it's not definitive. It's probably just what I like right now.
Yeah.
But some of them are like forever going to be in my
Yeah.
top. It's interesting enough because they're all from within like the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely love 70s and 80s, 90s
Uh-huh.
stuff, but those are just like the ascendant category.
Yeah.
So
What we got?
I guess I don't know if this is necessarily in order,
No, it doesn't have to be. Mine wasn't in order. I just was the ones that I was thinking about.
but I guess I'm gonna technically start at the top.
That's fine. Do it.
I do have a Star Wars soundtrack,
Okay.
and I can't go without saying this is one of the best pieces of musical composition is the score for Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Now, granted, I should have said realistically, unless it's a too general category, I should just say all Star Wars. But
That's too
general.
broad.
I know. Okay, fine.
There was 11 movies of musical masterpiece.
Okay, well, I mean, if I wanted to, my top 5 could have been like the original,
Yeah.
like Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith. Like, come
I
on.
mean, you
Tell me
got
Duel of Fates ain't gas. Okay.
like, I do. You gotta love the original themes, but the prequels do have the best.
I'm not gonna
music.
say like Duel of Fates and Battle of Heroes solos everything of all time, but it kind of does.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Star Wars soundtrack, and I'd say it's a top-notch just project of John Williams,
Yeah.
even though he's been doing this for so
Yeah.
long.
All right, continue. I interrupted.
No, yeah, I'm still talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like we said, Battle of Heroes at the end, the Anakin's dark deeds of him just wallowing in his sorrows.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
shows
yeah.
him and Padme just crying, and I don't remember what it's called. The music that plays when Anakin in the 501st storm the Jedi Temple.
Oh, I know.
It's like the marching music.
Bum. No, that's not the right music. That's like the Naboo music. The bum 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 bum. That's like the Naboo.
Unfortunately,
Naboo
we
music.
can't play anything because I don't want to get any copyright strikes.
Oh shoot!
but-
I was just singing it. You didn't
No,
hear that.
no,
Okay.
no. Lip singing is fine.
Oh, that's true.
We're just
Alright.
not going to play any of it.
Right.
So I could just go on and on and on about the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack.
Yeah.
Second, like we said, Tron Legacy
Goated.
by Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Once again, it's such a innovative techno
Okay.
film soundtrack. It's just so cool.
Now, earlier when I was talking about a soundtrack that really helps,
Set the tone
help
for a
set the
movie.
tone and really help the world building.
Builds
I
the
was
world.
thinking about Tron when I said that.
Yeah.
The Tron world building with just the soundtrack, I'm telling you. Because the whole movie, every song fits with every scene perfectly.
Yeah.
And I kid
yeah.
you not, it does.
I know we say pretty much all these movies won't work without these soundtracks, but Tron might be the penultimate one that needs that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like the opening music, the club music.
Like the fight music, the like solemn, like where they're on the train and Cora's arm is being repaired and Sam and his dad are having that heart to heart and it's just that like low tempo kind of like beat.
You know which one actually I don't mention that much, but sticks out for me is the sorrow music that plays when Cora's telling the history of what happened to the ISOs.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that really somber.
You know what one that sits out to me is that the very end when is Kevin Flynn's like giving of himself to saving it and it's like it's almost like the Tron soundtrack but it's a little slow but it's like the like obviously it's the soundtrack but it's like the really like heavy like deep one what I'm talking about.
So if you want to talk about emotional impact, this is one of the ones for me.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, this is probably the movie soundtrack that I re-listen to the most.
Yeah.
Like it's on my playlists.
Yeah.
So
it's so good.
I wouldn't be opposed to saying it's the best one. But
yeah.
And my third one, is the score for Man of Steel, the Superman movie with Henry Cavill, scored by Hans Zimmer. I adore this music. You watch it, and I'm just like, pumped up.
Justin is thrusting his fist into the air right now. You can't tell. In triumph.
The scene when Superman takes his first flight.
Oh.
And he
moving.
boosts into the air.
It's moving.
Absolutely
breathtaking.
So I love specifically that song, and then just like the general theme that plays for him as well. Third, well,
that was already your third.
Oh yeah, third. The next one, which would be fourth, I really have to put credit where credit is due, and that's for the Batman.
Okay, realistically, I might just mess around and throw Batman at number 5. Let's just be real. It was great.
Yeah, so
the soundtrack.
We already said what we liked about it.
It really is a phenomenal soundtrack.
So it surprisingly just made it in there. And then I couldn't decide on a definite fifth. So even though we're talking about film soundtracks, I went in and threw a TV series soundtrack. And so I put The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just so instantly iconic now.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got like the whistle call. You have like the intro music.
So good.
I especially love, well, the whole season 2 soundtrack.
Yeah,
is masterful, as is just the show itself.
Yeah.
The remix that plays at the first episode of the second season, they have like a guitar. It's like a electric guitar remix of the theme. I love that. If you don't remember. So, yeah, those. I guess I'm gonna have to say what those are top 5: Revenge of the Sith, Tron, Man of Steel, The Batman, and Mando.
Yeah. Did you have any other honorable mentions? Otherwise, I did.
Yeah, I'll mention. Well, you can do your honorable mentions.
Well, this is sort of just like, it's like half and half, like instrumental plus there's a little bit of lyrics, but it's actually for a TV show that we both can appreciate. And if you haven't heard at least this one song, you gotta do yourself a favor and go listen to it. If you're into like really upbeat, like jazzy type music, okay, I'm talking about the soundtrack in general, but the soundtrack for the TV show Cowboy Bebop, okay, not only unbelievable show, but unbelievable soundtrack. And you know, even if you have to separate the soundtrack from the show and listen, do yourself a favor and look up the song Tank, Tank, from Cowboy Bebop by the Seatbelts. That's who it was by. Great song.
Is that the intro music?
That's the intro song to every episode. Okay. So like jazzy and groovy, and it just gets you moving. It's so cool. And I mean, the show itself just has a great soundtrack. I mean, listen to the song "Cats on Mars." Like, come on. How can you not be like bumping your head into that one? It's so good. So,
and make sure it's the 90s anime version.
Yes, the 90s. Yeah. So,
and that's your secondary recommendations.
Yeah, I mean, I had other ones, but we can save those for the lyrical soundtracks.
Okay. Other ones that I just had to give honorable mentions because there's too many to pick. Absolutely pained me to not put the Dune soundtrack in there.
Yeah.
But I felt like I couldn't put too many new ones in there. Just because, I mean, Dune and Batman are basically my personality now. So
I mean, Batman already is my personality, so it's okay.
I already mentioned that I really love the Justice League Snyder Cut soundtrack.
Yep.
Go listen to that if you haven't. I also really love 2 other Star Wars soundtracks. The one for Solo Star Wars Story. I love especially. I've realized like, it's kind of a weird genre, but like, I really like.
I know what you're gonna say.
Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like the tribal,
the Infamous Nest music. No, that's
like,
wait, no, that's not the right tone. Hold up. Now we're singing whatever. I forgot what that song's called. We already talked about that. But
I really like tribal hum music.
Yeah, okay? Where it's like the really like when Emphas Nest gets
Yeah,
introduced. And
the
like,
Emphas Nest music in Solo,
I'm not gonna try to do it because it's only gonna sound like that.
the tribal music in Dune. What else is there? The Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, all that.
All that kind of
like,
tribal hype.
it's
music.
like chant.
Tribal chanting.
Tribal chant music.
I
don't know if that's the right term.
No, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the Solo soundtrack, also Rogue One soundtrack, love that as well. Aquino. And one that I almost forgot about, but I really love the theme, is for the Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh yeah, it's great.
One with Downey and Jude. What's his name?
Jude Law.
Jude
Did
Law.
you almost say Jude Henge? What were you saying?
I don't know what I was gonna say. Yeah, that. I realized until I looked it up. That was a Hans Zimmer score too.
Well, it doesn't surprise me now.
So, yeah, I just have to shout those ones out because
I mean, that's honestly great. Well. Yeah, those are definitely some good honorable mentions.
Yeah, so many more, but those are what's worth.
Yeah,
cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we got next?
Well, we could go on about instrumentals for a while, but let's talk about some lyrical soundtracks,
Mm-hmm.
or some mixtape soundtracks.
Yeah,
because there's been a lot of great been a lot of great mixtape and lyrical soundtracks the past few years.
Oh, I forgot to actually share them with you, but you're probably thinking of the same ones. So
I probably am, but it's okay.
What's let's when you think of some of the best lyrical soundtracks, which is pretty much vocally sung by music artists.
Yeah.
Whether it's
new songs or old songs.
Yeah, it could be originally written for the movie, or it could just be a mixtape of previous movies.
The three that come into my head are probably the most popular three. Are Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
Black Panther,
Yes.
and Guardians of the Galaxy.
There we go. Yeah.
Yep.
I think my favorite, I don't know, the Black Panther and Spider-Verse ones are so on par for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, it's crazy because even though, for example, Spider-Verse and Black Panther had two complete albums specifically made for their movie, and so obviously it's curated to every scene of the movie.
Yeah.
At the same time, Guardians, which was just a mixtape compilation of pre-existing songs, all those songs somehow also fit every single scene in that movie.
that was the definition of a perfect mixtape
Yeah.
in Guardians.
I listened when Guardians 1 came out.
We listened to that a lot.
I listened, well, just because it was a good assortment of songs, and like to that, the quote unquote Guardians soundtrack countless times.
Yeah, like Hooked on a Feeling is forever like the Guardians
That's
song.
the Guardians song,
And it's great because it introduced a new generation to
the
classic music.
Wow, yeah, classic music.
So that's cool. And going back to Black Panther, like All the Stars and Pray for Me.
So good.
Woo!
I mean, you know it's gonna be banger when they get Kendrick to come out and,
Yeah, I know.
and produce it. So
Kendrick really went hard.
that don't happen that often. So
Yeah. And then what are the best ones on the Spider-Verse soundtrack?
obviously there's Sunflower. There's what's the one? It's isn't like not scared or scared of the dark.
Scared of the dark. Yeah. I'm not
Or
scared.
Elevate.
Yeah, yep.
All the big ones used in the movie. You know.
Oh, I should have wrote down which ones I liked the most.
The other big one in the movie, the What's Up Danger. You know, when he's taking the leap for the first time.
That's an important part.
That's an important one. Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, Sunflower is the biggest one, but and they had a lot of big collabs on that one too. So
yeah, so those are, and they're both really well put together hip hop albums.
Yeah,
so.
hip hop albums which are perfect movie soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
For sure. So I'm sure there's so many more, but those are the ones that stick out for us.
Probably the most notable ones.
Most
in
notable
recent times.
ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless you have any other ones that we want to point out, let's give our viewer submissions some spotlight.
Throw them out there. I actually didn't see these, but Justin did.
Yeah, I didn't share them with you, but
because if you're wondering, Justin's usually the one that runs the Instagram account.
Yeah,
the man behind the scenes.
So yeah, I didn't share them with you, but we got some pretty good responses.
Okay.
And some that I didn't think of, and some that I actually haven't heard before.
Okay.
So, they shall stay anonymous. But the first few that we actually had two people say Interstellar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
which I still need to see.
bro, Hans goes crazy on the organ.
I'm sure he does. It's on fire.
So, even though it wasn't in my top soundtracks, it's still a legendary theme.
Yeah.
And then we had another one for Inception.
Obviously.
Which, like, that's another one that really sets the emotional tone
of
the movie.
Yeah. There's almost too many to have a top 5, to be honest.
We could have top 5 Hans Zimmer Nolan collabs.
Yeah. Realistically, yeah.
We had one for the Batman.
Okay.
This one was unexpected. Because we had a few from one person. They said the movie The Village.
Oh my God.
Which I don't remember any of the music because I just thought it was one of the wackest movies I've ever seen. But I guess I'll give the music another go.
Yeah. Okay.
Very unexpected, but I welcome the very niche picks. Another one that I haven't heard before is the theme Visions from the movie Unbreakable.
Oh, okay.
Which I haven't seen the movie or heard the music.
No,
so.
neither have I. Neither of us have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an interesting pick.
Some cultured picks out there.
Yeah.
Different picks.
Yeah, I like the
variety. Diversity of picks.
So another one is the music from the 1998 Godzilla movie.
Oh.
Which I don't think we've seen that one.
I'm pretty sure I've seen all of them. So yeah. But I don't remember it.
It's whatever. I guess you'll have to look it up and find out. So, and then lastly, we had one. It's this one. I didn't know the composer for this. It's Hans Zimmer's music for the animated movie Prince of Egypt.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that he did that movie.
Neither did I. Like I knew
I saw that a long time ago at school, I think.
I've never seen it, but I know people give that movie a lot of praise sometimes.
Yeah.
But
so solid picks, everybody. Thanks for your responses.
Yeah, there's some ones that we definitely wouldn't have even known or picked.
Yeah, so we might have to check some of those out that we haven't heard before.
Yeah.
So appreciate the feedback. Well, I really enjoy talking about the musical effect that movie themes have on me.
Yeah,
and
I mean, realistically, we could have talked about this forever.
I want to keep talking about it, but I think we made our point known.
I think we did.
So if you haven't listened to any of these, or please do check them out. I have an entire Spotify list of just
Justin has a playlist that's called Lit Soundtracks
because they're lit.
Yeah,
bro.
he does. not to expose you like that.
No, yeah. I'll send you the link if you want it. But yeah, check them out on Spotify, YouTube. You can find films scores anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If anybody else still wants to share their opinions, do hit us up on socials or contact us and tell us your favorite soundtracks.
Yeah.
We're always open to new recommendations.
Indeed.
And hear what the people appreciate and not just us. So, well, we would end this episode with a great soundtrack, but once again, we cannot do that.
Or we would get copyright striked.
So, is there anything you want to sing us a theme? You want to sing us a lyric?
The first thing that pops into my head is the scene from El Dorado when Cortez makes it to, or no, when he's about to leave Spain and he's taking a drink of water and it's like, and he's like, today we embark on a great journey. Okay, that's all I had to say.
And you can also do, on the trail we blaze.
On the trail we blaze. It's tough to be a god. Okay.
Had to plug El Dorado there. All right, so that concludes our soundtrack and score discussion this week. Hope you enjoyed it. You can continue to keep updated with us on socials, and we'll be back with more episodes every Friday right now. Thanks for listening.